Hello and welcome everyone. Today, I want to share with you a story that has left many fans both surprised and saddened, a story that goes far beyond the surface and touches something universal in all of us. It's about love, transformation, and the delicate art of parting ways when the time is right. This is the story of Baktaş and his wife, Baktaş, a couple who for years have stood as a quiet symbol of partnership in an industry often filled with noise. If you've been following the Turkish television and cinema world even loosely, Baktaş is likely a familiar name. Known for his powerful performances and emotionally rich roles, Bar has made a name for himself not just with his acting skills, but with his seemingly grounded presence in real life. Fans have long admired him not only for his work on screen but for the calm and respectful way he's handled his personal life, particularly his relationship with his wife, GLM. So when Bar took to social media recently to share a heartfelt message announcing the end of their marriage, it struck a chord far and wide. His words were raw, thoughtful, and carefully chosen, not designed to stir drama or feed the tabloids, but to express something real, something honest. He began by reflecting on their shared history. He spoke about how they met, how they grew together, and how their journey, while full of joy and love, had reached a natural conclusion. There was no scandal, no betrayal, just a quiet realization that sometimes even the deepest love cannot keep two people walking in the same direction forever. What truly stood out in Bar's message was the tone of respect, not only for GLM but for the bond they had nurtured over the years. He didn't speak of failure. He didn't frame it as a regret. Instead, he acknowledged the beauty of what they had built together and the wisdom in knowing when to step away with grace. He described GLM as not only a partner but a friend, a confidant, and someone who had shaped his life in ways no one else ever could. He spoke about the small, everyday moments that make a marriage: the shared laughs, the late-night conversations, the quiet support during difficult times. And he made it clear that, despite the end of their romantic relationship, his admiration for her remains unchanged. In a time when many celebrity breakups become media spectacles, filled with accusations and public disputes, Bar and GLM's approach felt almost revolutionary in its maturity. There were no dramatic interviews, no bitter statements, just two people acknowledging their truth with honesty, compassion, and care. The public response to Bar's post was overwhelming. Social media lit up not with gossip, but with empathy. Thousands of fans and fellow actors shared messages of support, many commenting on the strength it takes to speak so openly about something so personal. People thanked him for his vulnerability, for choosing transparency over performance. And perhaps that's why this story has resonated so deeply. Because it's not just about two celebrities going their separate ways, it's about something far more human. It's about the way relationships evolve, the way love changes, the way life sometimes demands that we make painful choices in the name of peace and growth. Let's take a moment to talk about GLM, too, a figure who has always chosen to remain mostly out of the public eye. She's never sought fame, never used her relationship for attention. Instead, she stood quietly beside Bar, offering support behind the scenes, building a life that was as private as it was sincere. Those who know her describe her as intelligent, compassionate, and incredibly strong. And though she hasn't released a statement herself, her silence speaks volumes about her dignity, her grace, and her decision to handle this transition away from the spotlight. When we think about relationships, we often focus on how they begin, the excitement, the passion, the promise. But there's so much value in also learning how to end them well, to do so with respect, to honor the love that was shared without needing to destroy it in the process of saying goodbye. That's what makes this story so poignant. Bar and GLM's decision reminds us that endings aren't always failures. Sometimes they're a quiet celebration of what once was and an act of courage to admit when it's time to move on. Of course, the emotional weight of their separation is not something that will vanish overnight. Even amicable breakups leave behind echoes, memories that surface at unexpected times, reminders of a past that was once a present. And both Bar and GLM will, in their own ways, carry these memories with them as they step into new chapters. But if there's one thing we can all learn from their story, it's this: love, when real, doesn't disappear. It transforms. It softens into something that no longer binds, but still connects. And that's what we saw in Bar's words, not the end of love, but the evolution of it. There are very few public figures who are willing to open themselves up in this way, to be vulnerable, not just as actors or artists, but as human beings. And that's something worth appreciating, because it reminds us all that, beneath the fame and the fortune, they too are just people trying, failing, growing, and loving, like the rest of us. In the days that followed the announcement, fans began revisiting old photos, past interviews, and shared memories of the couple. Some spoke about how they had inspired them, how their quiet bond had given hope to those looking for lasting love in a fast-moving world. Others admitted feeling heartbroken, not because they believed in fairy tales, but because they believed in the strength of connection that Bar and GLM had come to represent. And that's perhaps the most touching part of all this, the realization that we are all connected through stories. Stories of love, of heartbreak, of growth, and of change. Stories like this one, which hold up a mirror to our own lives and remind us that it's okay to change. It's okay to let go. It's okay to feel everything and still move forward. So to Bar and GLM, thank you for your honesty, for your vulnerability, and for showing us that there's beauty even in the hardest of moments. And to everyone watching this video, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing kindness, empathy, and connection in a world that so often asks us to be cynical. If this story meant something to you, if it helped you reflect on your own journey, I'd be grateful if you supported the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who might need to hear this today. Until next time, take care of your heart. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, every ending is also a beginning. Goodbye for now.